Hello and welcome to Week 5 of LOS Champs. I'm Joseph the Voice, hanging out with Ari Arts. How you doing today?
Pretty good.
As we can see, we have some good matchups ahead of us today. Let me just give a quick rundown of how the season breaks down. So, in Season 1, the rundown goes as such. There are 8 weeks of league play in Swiss format, so we are just on the opposite end of the middle of the road. We are now in Week 5. Top 16 teams of each tier move on to single elimination playoffs. So as of right now, there's a lot still happening. We saw some teams last week facing, that pivotal 500 mark. Are they going to go above? Are they going to fall below? Are they going to stay at even? There's a lot happening last week. But we got even more action coming at you guys this week. This week we have the AA Ratteries. 4-0. These guys have literally lost one game. They've never lost a series yet, but they've only lost one game thus far. Going against No Problem. We got to see No Problem last week. They did pretty good. They pushed ahead. And I think I was told that even if they were to somehow sweep AA Ratteries would still be ahead based off of win percentage. So that just goes to show the dominant nature of what AA Ratteries have brought to the table thus far. And we just got to make sure that we keep our eyes on this matchup right here, because I think this matchup right here, there could be a rematch going into the playoffs that we're going to want to see. And I'm excited for it. So I know this is your first time being here, Ari, but you got a moment to kind of look at those stats. What is in your mindset right now?
From what I've seen with just looking at the stats, it looks like AA Ratteries, if they're putting themselves in a position early on, we wouldn't say early on, still four series into the season, but they're putting themselves up in a really good spot to make those playoffs, to make it far into the season right away, and to show that early dominance gives yourself a really good cushion for the rest of the season if you want to maybe change your play style, or if there's a roster move that needs to happen if someone can't make playoffs for some reason. Just really you don't really hear anyone saying in any league that if this team gets swept, they're still the best team. If they get swept by the second best team, that they're still the #1 team in the league. So it'll be really interesting to see how that fact might mentally affect No Problem going into this game, but we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that I say all the time, Rocket League is a game where anything on any given day can happen. Any player can step up, really just make a name for themselves. And today, AA Ratteries have Moki and Clef on one end, and No Problem on the other end, because this is a 2v2 matchup. I just want to throw that out there. It is a 2v2, and we are going to be looking at Tier 3 tonight. So this is going to be a good matchup. And we'll see on the other side, there is a few different possibilities. I think we're going to have SGB, and it looks like Squashy tonight coming out for No Problem. And it looks like they're in the action. I know I'm ready. Ari, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, well, let's not keep them waiting. Let's just get right on into the action. All right. I've had an opportunity to cast with you a few times already in a few different leagues, but now it's time to bring that same level of energy here to LOS Champs, as we almost had one straight out the gate. Clef getting another opportunity on goal. Squashy with a good hit off that top bar. Another one off the top bar. They are just challenging No Problem here early in this matchup.
You can immediately see just out of the gates why AA Rats are the best team. There's so much pressure coming off those initial shots. Putting No Problem in awkward spot. That said, though, Clef by himself does make the touch out. Gets a nice 50 on the second defender, leaving Mochi with a ton of space here. Looking very deadly. Push shot on target. Squashy gets back in time to save it, though. Pops it into the corner. AA Rats trying to keep this pressure going. Squash not having any of it, that clears it out. A little bit of a miss coming out from Clef. This SRG pick it up. Squash trying to center for his teammate. Mochi able to block it off though. SGB trying to recenter this. Get the offense going. Squash, it's a risky commit. Clef wins a huge 50 out middle. See if SGB can get back in time. That's a huge demo coming from Mochi, and Clef slots it away.
My, oh my, there's a lot happening here out the gates already. Squashy doing some great things there defensively, but a questionable commit there on offense left them in a bad position. And SGB tried to get back, but he got demoed and left Clef the wide open opportunity. And now they're up 1-0, 3:50 on the clock. Tick, tick, tick. We got a lot of game here yet left to go.
Especially in twos. Pickoff goals are a lot more prone to happen in this game mode, so you never really know. But with just the way that the control's been going, it really feels like you can see why they've only really lost one game. I mean, they're quick. They know how to challenge the ball on offense and defense. They keep that pressure going. They don't really panic very often on defense. You know, they know when they can play more time. As SGB with a big miss, that leaves a lot of open space. They're able to capitalize off of it. Mochi, though, it's a really big 50 coming up from Splashy. Double A's have to retreat now. Big clear from Clef changes that. Has to pass it on the corner, trying to buy time, but there's a bit of a clutter in the corner. Squashy a bit of an awkward position on the backboard. Not the best touch on defense. Mochi hits out middle, maybe trying to pass it off to his teammate. Teammate quite not there, though. Squashy now trying to control this.
Mochi's gonna just bounce it off that back wall, puts it up there for Clef. Squashy's up there, though, contends right away. Unfortunately, a little bit of, I don't even know what just happened. I wouldn't necessarily call it miscommunication, just over-aggression once again there by Squashy. And Clef gets another one in the back of net, and that's twice now that we've seen Squashy take a little bit of an awkward commit and leave SGB in an awkward position. So we're going to see what happens going forward, but right now the AA Rats are looking like a good bunch.
They're definitely supercharging their controllers with those AA batteries that they have in store, giving them maybe some extra vision. As a team pinch coming out, though. Oh, that's an unfortunate touch. In front of that Squash is going to be able to pick it up. Very unfortunate there. That bounce, maybe he's expecting it to hit the post or something, is very quick. You don't really get used to those reads when the ball's going that fast, so very understandable kind of mistouch there. But AA Rat still pretty in control of this game as they get quick pressure off a kickoff. Once you a bit too far away though for the shot. Just another shot at net. Squashy's ready for it though. Waiting patiently. Net Squashy taking this to cross. Good control in the corner here. Tries to get it around one. Mochi not really quite committing for it. Leaves it for Clef. Goes to the backboard. SGB reads it though. Clears it out. Mochi with another center. Squash a little bit awkward. Gets the backboard read though. Clef thrown off by it. Has to retreat here.
SGB's gonna grab hold real quick. Squashy grabs it, almost gets it past Clef. A good awkward defend there. SGB off that back wall. Nope, Mochi's gonna grab it up. Get a nice flick put out towards midfield. Get a 50 there, and it's right back on Clef's hood. He just bombs it down the field. Squashy trying to get the defend here. Bounce it off that back wall, and SGB looking for the clear downfield. Continuing with the drive downfield, trying to get something set up. Mochi's right there to slow him down. Clef in another position to potentially score here. SGB trying to get back, but could not do so. And Clef with the hat trick here in 1:20 left on the clock.
See, a lot of these goals coming up from AA Rats aren't necessarily off of maybe the twos gameplay that I think some people expect. Maybe not from these players, but just like in general, you hear about like twos gameplay, like it's super mechanical. But like at any level, I think besides that super high level gameplay, it mostly just comes down to your the opponent's overcommitting and you capitalizing after that. And AA Rats are showing that in prime time here. They are SGB just. I was in the middle of saying something. SGB just bulldozed that through two players. They're unfortunately able to capitalize off of it, but you know, AA Rats, a lot of their goals are just open nets. It's not necessarily, yeah, no problem making like a miss save or not reading a ball off the backboard or being awkward in net. It's mostly just off of overcommits coming out from that first or second defender, leaving either the last man awkward or just no defender back at all. And that's pretty much been all their goals. And if you're no problem, you might be able to look at that and say, they're not really outplaying us. We're just kind of outplaying ourselves. And maybe try to take that going into game 2 and try to recuperate and, you know, make it so just that the goals being scored aren't necessarily the heater of the shot, necessarily, you know, like them outplaying you. It's just, you know, it's a lot of this is in their control. I feel like they can still definitely bring this back.
Absolutely, and it's just kind of funny. Their name are the AA Rats, and every goal that they've scored was a little bit of a ratty one. Let's just admit that. Oh, and a late one there for Yeah No Problem. You're going to want that going here into game 2 because like we were just saying, the game wasn't completely out of reach for Yeah No Problem. It's just that the AA Rats capitalized on every single mistake that Yeah No Problem was putting out, and now they're going to be going into game 2. You know, they were able to get that last minute or that last second goal there. And now I think hopefully they can take that momentum. Maybe they feel a little bit more certain. I mean, Squashy had 7 saves defensively. So, I mean, he was put on a clinic himself defensively, just like Clef was trying to put on offensively, except for Squashy's was a little bit more impressive because I think there was a little bit more technique put into that one. But let's see what happens with the AA Rats going here into game 2, because right now, I still think this game is very evenly matched. And I didn't even give my prediction going into this one. Before this game, I would have honestly said AA Rats would have probably won this one, you know, 3-1, I would have said. But now, honestly, I'm thinking we're going to go the distance. And Yeah No Problem is going to start to make a problem for the AA Rats.
I definitely say Squashy, I want to point out, he did have 7 saves, but 2 out of the 3 goals scored AA Rats. It's twos. It's not entirely one person's fault most of the time, but a lot of their goals were off of Squashy double and overcommitting. So yeah, he's getting the goal line saves, but maybe those challenges in the midfield that result in the goals that actually beat scored on is maybe something that he wants to try to focus on more, because I think there's also a lot of times where SGB was in the net, he could make a save, but Squashy just cut him off, whether that was positioning or communication. Maybe SGB was low boost or something, but still, you know, I think a lot of this is just going to come down to how the midfield challenges go for both of these teams.
Absolutely. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Was Squashy being a little over-assertive just all around there in game 1 and kind of forcing SGB out of position? And maybe that's the reason why they went down so early and why it was hard to come back. We'll have to see what happens, but I still feel like if they can start getting that communication in place, the rhythm will start to come in as well, and it'll start to pay off. But we'll see what happens here. 4:30 on the clock, and Squashy almost getting that shot on, and SGB staying patient and finding an opportunity of his own.
The exact flip-flop of game 1 here. You know, Yeah No Problem showing immediate pressure here in game 2, and scoring off of it right away within the first 30 seconds. Definitely making a statement here, saying that AA Rats are not going to just cruise through them like they have with every other team so far in this league. And we'll see how they respond.
All I know is I'm excited. After watching Yeah No Problem last week, they definitely showed a lot of heart and a lot of composure in areas where I felt it did matter. But this week, like you said, they're coming out a little bit more hastily. We're seeing some, I don't know if it's miscommunication or just misjudgment across the field. And right there, another one gets past Yeah No Problem, and AA Rats are now back 1-1. As we're talking about these missed plays at midfield, we got another one there. It's not just Squashy. SGB also just made that little bit of a mistake. And once again, AA Rats capitalize off of those little mistakes.
Especially if you're last defender in twos, you just got to be really careful about your commits, because if you don't make solid contact with the ball, it might as well be a goal, because it's really hard for that last defender trying to get back in time to save it. That's a beautiful cutoff with that pass, though. Squashy now with a little bit of time here, tries to center for his teammate, maybe high off the backboard. It's a beautiful pass. Oh, Mochi gets in the way just in time. Still pressure mounting here, though. Mochi's able to collect it. Good catch into a pop. Squashy play out middle, able to collect it and get the 50. To say about these midfield challenges, Squashy, just everyone in general is starting to play a little bit more control with their touches and banging it out a little bit less. As I say that, though, Clef bangs one right away into the hands of Squashy. Sends it right back in the hands of Clef. Clef put the shot high. Mochi there for the rebound. Gets it past both of them. Hits the post, though. But it rebounds right back into him, and he slots it away.
Man, that quickness that we're seeing from the AA Rats, you know, they're able to get back on it. Look, that's a great recovery on the wall. Like, you could have just lost yourself, hit the wall, bounced off, and felt awkward, but instead, you got that in place. You're able to maintain your car. You get down, and you get that hit. And a lot of that quickness pays off. You got to make sure you know how to control your car, because when you do, you're going to make more happen.
That's a beautiful fake from Squashy, and I definitely do agree. The recoveries and car control is really big in this 2v2 gameplay, because a lot of people, they go on record saying twos is basically just ones with a teammate behind you, and that's very true, especially if you're able to get a touch like this, recover on the wall like Mochi just did, and be able to just stay in the play more. it makes it a lot harder for the other team to get any sort of possession, any sort of control. And, oh no. That was just really unfortunate. SGB way too far back here and then tries to rush in, get the ball in time, and doesn't really recognize that he's beat. Leaves the net open again. Just, you see these openings for both teams, but it seems that yeah, no problem is just kind of leaving more. Their gaps are a little bit bigger. The cracks in the walls are getting a little bit pried open a little bit more compared to AA. And it's really just shown with like their spacing. I feel like you sometimes have them too close and sometimes too far away. GB almost put that one through, but again, the scoreline isn't really, I feel like, speaking to what's really going on because they've had a lot of shots on goal. They've had a lot of opportunities like that one. They're just quite not putting them away.
All right, I just want to point some out to you real quick. So I don't want to ruin it for these guys, but last week, every single match that we had came with a hat trick included. And we are on pace to do the exact same thing here now because Moki has a hat trick, Clef had one last game, so just continuing as is tradition. And Squashy gets it past Clef, and we are now getting one step closer to a potential overtime with 1:43 on the clock. I mean, these teams are both looking good. AA Rats are definitely being aggressive when needed, definitely being assertive when needed. But yeah, no problems also staying a little bit more patient now here in game 2. They're not just letting opportunities just get away from them too quickly. As I say that, you know what? I'm just gonna go over here, you know? My goodness.
I heard you saying that sentence.
Mark it on the board, Kev. Give me like 5 for that one. 5 cast curses, not just one. I need 5 of them. My goodness.
As you're saying that sentence, I see the ball. Oh my god, you casted 2 goals.
That's why I said, see, I'm cursed the whole game. I have officially cursed the whole game. That's why I said I need like 5 of them right away, because I knew as soon as I said that, everything changed. Everything.
You were saying they're not letting opportunities slip away from them. I see a kickoff. I see it bounce into the corner. I knew it was rolling in front of the net. Squashy didn't know that. He missed his boost, and I'm like, this is a goal. And I was just waiting for it. And then I wasn't expecting that second one, though. That is impeccable.
Oh my goodness. Guys, I am a curse looking.
Like, you know, if you're yeah, no problem, you know, a lot of this comes down to just basic mistakes. But you can also really kind of look on stream maybe for the bot and realize, you know what, maybe the laws of the Rocket League gods, you know, just were against us today. The casters were, you know, summoning spirits onto our game. Like, we just weren't going to win it. You know, you can't really... You know, sometimes it's just, you know, one of those games. And, oh my god, that's a beautiful
Has anybody ever assigned a name for the Rocket League god yet? We need to know this.
Mochi just went off the ceiling here and just absolutely...
Beautiful
that's not a dime.
Pass. That was an amazing dime of a pass. Let's just point that out. My goodness.
A dime, I would call that a whole quarter with the way that he just put it.
Right, you just fed the whole family with that pass.
that was beautiful. And oh man, if you're no problem, you wonder what happened besides, you know, us throwing the game, to really put yourself in a position where you were 1 goal away, and then a minute and a half later it is 6-2, and you're getting ceiling passed on. Like, oh my goodness.
It's like one of the rudest things ever. Like, they came out first game, look, you know, we're gonna make them think that we're fairly evenly matched, and now they're just pulling every trick out of that hat right now to make something happen.
Clef is about to... Oh my goodness.
With a nice save there. Good stuff. Mochi's going to try to get another one up, passing it over to Clef, possibly. There it is.
We were talking about hat tricks. Clef and Mochi both have a hat trick by themselves.
I have 2 hats at the desk. I got 2 hats. So, I mean, I know I wasn't wearing one, but I can put 2 on if y'all want. So I guess we'll just put 2 hats on right away.
And it's just... You know, especially, I was about to say, at this level of gameplay, it doesn't really look like it came down to the mechanical solo dribble out plays or whatever, but oh my god, Mochi, you are mean.
Hey, screw the caster curse. Can we get a hat trick counter for this league going forward? My goodness. We got Clef and Mochi out here making
Both
some noise. I got 2 hats already. I didn't even have one when this play started. You know, we're here now. LOS Champs, this is where it's at. The home of the hat tricks. And right now, if you are no problem, you got to be a little scared. You got to be a little bit backed in the corner. I mean, it's like the entire Rat Pack just continued to multiply and multiply between game 1 and 2. And now you're in a position where it's just insurmountable amount of just, I don't know what's going to happen here in game 3.
And if you're like I can definitely see why they are second in the league. Like, they definitely don't look that bad. It's just AA Rats are very pinpoint with how they touch the ball, how they play the space. Because I see no problem. I see kind of sometimes their players their space. Like you said, you saw SGB kind of all the way back, and then he'd go all the way downfield, and then he'd have to rush all the way back because he overcommitted. And I just don't really see that kind of spacing issues coming out from the Rats. I'm calling them the Rats now. It's infinitely more funny than AA's. But but I mean, like, aside from that game, towards the second half of it, it kind of got out of hand. But especially at this level, from what I'm seeing, is it's less about who can outplay the other, who can do the ceiling pass down to the middle, right? It's more just about who can take a good 50, who can, you know, control the ball well, who can bait out a defender first, who can not miss, who can get the better touch. It's really just about who makes less mistakes rather than who. Speaking of mistakes.
Oh my Musa! What just happened there? Oh not God. The Musa! Oh my goodness!
It's a very, if you're in Squashy's perspective, you may be expecting SGB to pop it out. It's not expecting the ball to come down in front of your net like that. Very unfortunate positioning there. As I was talking about mistakes, it's really about who makes less mistakes than the other team rather than who is necessarily better. And I know part about being good in Rocket League is not screwing up, but a lot of people think, oh, if you're good at Rocket League, you're air dribbling across the field, you're flip setting it, you're doing who was it last game? I'm pretty sure it was Mochi. What Mochi was doing last game and ceiling passing it to your teammate.
I'm gonna tell you that. I was gonna say that's the bare minimum that I'm good at bowling, because my only goal in bowling is just not to put it in the gutter. So I guess I'm good at bowling then, you know?
Right. It's more so about just your consistency and lack of making mistakes. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is.
We got a hat trick in 29 seconds. There's a hat trick in 29 seconds. That has to be one of the fastest hat tricks ever. Can somebody please try to find the fastest hat trick ever? Because that might be it.
This might be. You might have to set a new world record for the Los Champs hat trick 90% speedrun. And I'm pretty sure that Clef just snagged that. That was, I think, 31 seconds.
I'm gonna give him that might be hat trick of the year right there. Oh my goodness! He is just hungry, and Mochi is feeding him. This is dangerous, people.
131 kilometers an hour.
I'm sorry, Ratteries, if I said anything out of pocket before this match started. I apologize. I'm sorry.
Listen, it is Rocket League. It is still possible. It is still possible for no problem to come back and win this game, and nothing is off the table.
So hold up. I just got a confirmation. 53 seconds in RLCS. So we got RLCS beat here on screen. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're hat tricking 52 seconds against a pro player, I would.
That's ridiculous.
Crazy, but Clef, oh my god, dude, there is still almost 4 minutes left in this game, and Clef has almost 2 hat tricks. Are you joking? Okay, let alone 1 hat trick in 31 seconds. That is ridiculous. Clef's about to score 2 in under half the game.
Yo, who poked the bear? My goodness.
I think Clef traveled back in time and got that Coca-Cola with the cocaine that was there.
Dude, I'm telling you, he's the real cocaine bear. My goodness.
Mochi whiffing it so Clef can try to put in his hat trick. I'm pretty sure that
we're gonna see an automatic name change after this. He's gonna come in next week. All of a sudden, it's gonna be he's gonna be Cocaine Bear next week.
It's just.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Squashy maybe trying to put at least 1 on the board. Maybe trying to set up for Brazil. Trying to, you know, put it out to the script. Clef with that. Mochi, he's hitting this the backboard and Clef scoring off of it. Oh, he tried to get the angle.
I was honestly hoping Clef was just gonna be there.
Yeah.
He's been everywhere thus far, and Clef once again gonna get the defend, grabs it up. SGB playing games with them right now, trying to get some there. Mochi's not having it.
SGB staying on the ball though. First thing out, Squashy with the good mid-flow challenge. Oh, Mochi puts it on back for it. SGB gonna walk this one in here. You know.
Mochi
really.
trying to feed Clef here and unintentionally gives it back to SGB. And they are now on the board. 2:35 left to go. I'd like to believe that in some world, 2 minutes and 35 seconds against the AA Rats right now is possible. But I just don't think it is. That's a lot of time. I'm not saying it's not a lot of time. I just think that this team right now is playing pretty wild.
I'm pretty sure what it was. I can talk about, oh my goodness, that was such the third man for Rats is coming in full swing there, blocking the shot. But I was saying, you know, it's all about not making more, at this level, it's really just about playing more solid, making less, you know, stupid rotation mistakes, for lack of a better word. Squashy, though, dunking it past the defender. They are definitely not going down quiet here. Putting up a fight. 3 goals in 2 minutes, not impossible. I'm not counting them out, but if all I really feel like Rats have to do is score one more goal, and I feel like they kind of just put the game away at this point. As I was saying, I feel like, oh my god, Clef.
You said all we need is Clef to score one more goal so we can have a double hat trick. So one hat is represented of 2 hats this time? My goodness, Clef. Can we just point out that he has more goals than he has shots on goal?
That is... There was a Musa in the beginning.
I'm just pointing it out. That's just impressive, you know? Regardless of the own goal.
Mochi air dribbles it over.
Now Mochi wants to score. Never mind. Clef is there for number 7.
Maybe he gets 3 hat tricks. Can we talk? I want to point out this scoreline. Have we had a more out of control scoreline in the 2s? Yeah,
I personally don't. I have not seen anything at this level that has been kind of like this crazy of a differential personally. At least not in LOS champ since I've been here, but I mean, my goodness.
And it's just, Clef with the dribble. SGB not having any of it though. They're not letting Clef get 3 goals. Clef is definitely still having to work for him, but as they say, he is simply just better. His gaming chair is more expensive, is more comfortable, and better in every single way than these players.
Hey, I just heard that. I heard that might be him. I'm just saying.
Yeah, he might have.
With a minute 15, let's just give a little credit to No Problems. They're continuing to fight back. Let's just say that this game is pretty much out of reach at this point, but they are still fighting regardless of that fact.
For sure. And the point I was trying to make earlier before Clef started globetrotting on these people. Oh my god, Clef. Jesus. Is it off the backboard maybe for Clef? Clef not able to get a shot up, but just, I feel like if you're, like, I can say, Jesus, if I can say, yeah, no problem, is, you know, they're making more mistakes, blah, blah, blah. Like, again, especially at this level, it's just about making less mistakes than the other team, you know. Maybe not overcommitting. Like, a lot of their mistakes weren't really too complicated. It was very simple, just rotation errors, right? But I mean, Rats' momentum, you talk about snowballing, like, they went out on the perfect, like, wet snow day on, like, Mount Everest and rolled a snowball down it, and that's, like, the snowball effect they had.
Oh my god, he did it! He got the triple hat trick! My goodness, my goodness. See, you were like, hey, you know, I can say, yeah, no problem. I mean, you can say it, but do you mean it right now? Because right now, AA Rats are just hammering away. My good, specifically Clef. Holy good, oh my goodness.
That snowball effect that the Rats have had throughout, not just this game really just is the most extreme end of it, but kind of just every game. Like, they score 1 goal, and it's a decent, you know, off pressure, and then it resets off kickoff, and then they just do, you know, the right hook, and then the uppercut right after, just putting in more and more goals. And the only way to really stop them, it seems like, is you know, no problem was blocking their shots. I mean, Squashy had 7 saves. I feel like the only way you can silence Rats is by outscoring them, which, as you can see, is not the easiest thing to do when Clef is scoring 9 goals in a single game.
That's ridiculous, honestly. I've never, in any game that I've ever casted, I've never seen one player have this ridiculous amount of an output in terms of just all the goals for their team. It's 9 goals. 9 goals from one player.
Dude, Rats are looking to score at 0 seconds.
Like, Mochi was definitely feeding them. Definitely. That's still very impressive.
That goes over the middle.
Oh no, my goodness, no way!
Oh my god.
Oh my. Squashy was just like, I'm done, I'm over, and Mochi was like, I'm not.
Squashy was done. He put down his controller, he's going... Couldn't even get 10.
Oh, Squashy! Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
That's, honestly, that's great. That's great.
That's amazing.
Come on, Clef.
I mean, Clef had 1,300 score, right? That happens in like a 10-minute overtime, not in a 5-minute regular game.
So real quick, we're gonna take a moment to try to get Clef in here real quick for a quick interview, because oh my, I don't even know what to say. I'm kind of like, I'm a little speechless, and I'm a person who likes to talk, and I don't really know what to say right now. Like, I'm trying to correlate a question. So when he comes in here, or Ari, do not be afraid to just jump on the very first question, because I need to gather myself. I don't know what I just witnessed. Hello, Clef. How are you doing today?
Doing all right.
What, I don't even know. Like I said, I'm kind of speechless right now. I'm struggling to speak and put words together. Words are not a thing in my mouth right now. But what just happened there? Did you and Mochi just be like, you know what, we're just going to feed you because you're hungry? Like, what happened?
Just after the first minute, you know, I think I had 5 already, and then I scored 6, and I was like, oh, it'd be kind of funny if I scored a triple hat trick. And then he had a couple of goals where he could have scored it, and he just let me score them. Just, it'd be funny if I got 9 goals.
No, that's pretty crazy. Honestly, I've never seen that before. That was pretty crazy to watch, I'll be honest with you. But that was impressive. Ari, do you have anything you want to ask Clef? My goodness.
Funnily enough, I actually know Clef. He is one of my older friends that I've met. I don't really talk to him too much anymore, as he's, you know, been busy with, you know, mostly with college and Rocket League and whatnot. But I just want to ask, has playing at like your college level helped you with with this league as well? Like, with especially, I just saw like your team in general is just really good at punishing the other team's mistakes. A lot.
We haven't played university for a while because all the like university stuff kind of ended already since like a couple months. We haven't played, but it got me on the game more, so there's that. So it did help me get better, you could say, because if I didn't play university leagues and stuff, I wouldn't have gone the game. So
right.
Well, yeah, I mean, thank you very much, Clef. I mean, at the end of the day, like, the level of play that you're outputting is definitely something that is something to admire, and knowing that you have that teamwork or that level of communication and all of that kind of churning together and working, you know, that's something to look after. And knowing that you guys are just kind of running around this league right now in first place, you got to be pretty happy with that right now. I mean, do you see a team that is really showing major contention for you?
I mean, in previous games, there were games where we went to overtime. I think we played against Renewal Storm, and in game 1 we were down 5-2, and then we won in overtime. So there are teams that could like beat us and take games off of us, but we just, I don't know, we always seem to win. So, but there are teams that could take a game off us or take a series off us too. I wouldn't be surprised.
All right, well, we're gonna let you get on with the rest of your night. Obviously, we got more action coming at you guys. We are going to be getting ready for a 3v3 series coming up here next. But real quick, before we send you guys on out there, remember to give a shout out and give a huge thanks to League OS for giving us the power necessary to run this league. As well as if you guys have not gotten the chance to get your Enthusiast package yet, remember that is $20 a year or $2 a month. The Founder Circle promotion is only for yearly subs. Exclusive collectible league-wide title that you'll get. The Enthusiast is definitely something you're going to want to have, as well as exclusive collectible Enthusiast badge, access to member-only Discord channel, unlock the ability to customize your nameplate, as well as the ability to customize your hero image. And the best one that I like to see is, you know, that expansion to your trophy case. So as you're running around this league and making a name for yourself, people can go and check out all the trophies that you have earned along the way. But we will be back here soon with more action. Hang out.